Okay, the Marshall SV20H. It's a great amp. Borrowing this off a friend, we're going to look at it today. We're going to look at the high treble channel, the normal channel, jump it of course, and we're going to see what kind of sounds we can get. We're using a humbucker guitar, of course. It's a Marshall. We might look at some singles as well, but we're definitely going to start with a humbucker. All right. Okay, so this thing is pretty great. Right now, signal chain. I am plugged straight into high treble channel, the high sensitivity top one. I'm going straight into Logic via the tube amp expander. So I'm using just the 412 standard IR, not using any effects, no EQs, nothing. So it is sort of the Marshall straight into Logic with one IR, that is it. And everything is at 12 o'clock. Of course, you've got to start 12 o'clock, right? So looking around, it seems most people will straight away go into jumping. Got to jump the high treble and the normal channel. And yeah, that sounds great. But we're starting on the high treble channel, the top or the high sensitivity input. Everything's at 12 and that's a great sound. I could use that all day long, right? Let's start playing with the EQ and then we'll look at the gain. So presence. I mean, for me, again, humbucker guitar on the bridge, I don't feel that needs more top, but let's sort of see what it does. Starting to get a little bit fizzy there, right? But I mean, it's not night and day difference. So in a mix, you might want to crank that, or in a band, right? Let's turn it all the way off. Again, not night and day difference. It definitely sort of dulls it down a bit, but I don't mind it sitting there at 12. Great sound. Let's move over to the bass. Again, that's a great sound. Let's go all the way up. Again, the EQ seems to be more a passive EQ than a really active EQ. That being, it definitely does something, but it's not as dramatic as, you know, some other amps. Again, not good or bad, just kind of different. I consider, again, this setup is always different with your guitar, right? But I would just leave that at 12. Sounds great. Right, let's go to middle. Sounds a bit woofy there, right? Doesn't have the scoops mids for me there. But again, we'll get into that a little bit later. Same deal. I'd kind of leave that sitting at about 5. Sounds awesome. So as you can see, as I said, a passive sort of EQ, leaving it at around 12 sounds pretty killer. Let's, of course, look at the gain. It's got a boomy sort of... See sort of how it cleans up. So that sounds, I don't know, weak. It does. It sounds like you've really rolled the volume off, and my volume's on full. Let's go neck pickup. So one channel amp, you know, you're going to probably use it as a pedal type of platform, get a sort of a bass sound you want, and of course it depends on your application. But that sounds really good. Before we move to normal channel, let's try it with some single coils. Okay, so I've gone back to 5 on everything, 12 o'clock and everything. I've got a Strat neck pickup single coils. So it's really got some super overdriven sound there. Let's kind of go back to, what's that, 2 o'clock. So that's sounding really a lot thinner. Big difference single coils. I mean, obviously single and humbucker, but big difference there between the singles and the humbucker. Now let's try and do some bass. So it's got kind of that, I mean, that's a little bit dirty to me. I don't know if I love that sound. It's cool. Okay, let's stay in this one and let's go to the normal channel. Okay, everything in 12, all we've done is turn up the normal channel. Doesn't really matter what the high treble volume is going to do because it's not plugged in, right? Whoa. All right, where'd my tone go? Okay, so where the high channel is very usable, the normal channel at 12, not at all. Let's go bridge. Not much I think you can do with that as it is. Let's try increasing some treble, middle, take the bass out. Straight away, we're into usable territory. Lot better, right? So now normal channel, we've got to play with EQ a little bit more to bring something out of it. Let's turn the gain up a bit. It's definitely got some fizz there, right, on the top. You can definitely hear that at the top, and I don't like that. So apart from that, you know, something in the top there, that's a nice sound. All right, let's go back to humbuckers on the normal channel before we blend them. Can you hear that? It's kind of a nice foundation sound, the bass sound, but it's got that, it sounds like clipping almost, or fizz. And the gain's only on 6 there, so it could be maybe the EQ bass is all the way out. Let's just roll these back a little bit, see kind of what we get there. Interesting. I find the high treble channel is probably more usable than the normal. Let's get the patch cable out. Okay, so now we are running through both channels. Now the cool thing about this is, you remember how the high treble channel was exactly that. There was a lot of sparkle and brightness in it. You can use that sort of as a gain / EQ, and then the normal channel, which had all that bottom end, you can use that to blend. So we've gone 12 o'clock, 5 on everything. So I find it's a great sound, but you've got that little thing at the top there. So we're gonna leave these as they are, because I find from EQ, bass, and sort of the mids presence, I don't mind that. So let's sort of see what we can get playing with blending the two gains. So as you bring in that normal channel, it gives you more body, right? It's a great sound though. Let's go the other way. All right, it's great. Let's turn on some effects. We'll just use them in Logic. Turn on some reverb, some delay, maybe some pitch shift or something like that, and see what we get. Okay, of course, completely different sound. The weaker output, more brittle top of the single coil, my bridge position. So again, I want to reduce the top, so I'm going to try the high treble channel. Still got a little bit of tops on it, right? Now that's got kind of too much bass. I've got to bring presence and treble back in. Pretty big gainy, right, for something like that. Great amp, great studio amp, great live amp if you got it as a pedal platform. It would be interesting on one gig, but I suppose any amp setup, right, if you're going between two guitars, going between something singly, something P90, something humbuckery, that would be interesting. But again, every amp, I suppose, is going to have that. The EQ is interesting. It's often seems a bit more passive than active, but that's not a bad thing. And I really like the high treble channel on this. I thought it was great. Normal channel, not as much. Definitely need to play with the EQ on that one. And blending them when you got the patch cable in is great as well. I think for me, getting a good clean sound, and clean, what does clean mean? You're probably going to use a combination of amp settings and rolling the volume down a little bit. But I mean, I think that's a really good approach to guitar either way. So Marshall SV20H, great sounding amp. It's really, really good. Check one out. See you later.